Okay, hello Internet. We are now recording for another side session like we did last week with Ash. This time joining me is the man, the myth, the legend, Andreas.
You're...
That wasn't a complete sentence.
No, it was just an exclamation.
Yep. Hey, I mean, you are at least 2 out of 3 of those things. You are the and the, but I don't know if you're the.
I see.
Exactly. Hey, articles can be very complicated. You thought pronouns were weird, then you haven't seen nothing yet?
I think I'm definitely not the.
Okay. You're a myth, but are you the legend? But anyway, speaking of legends, we are right now doing something special with an alternate character that Andres has designed, named Benzai from Village Lithmoriana. So, let's begin with... You know, stories have a funny way of getting around, especially when they're being circulated by the lovers of tales. Billy Queen the Gnome is by gnome mean the only reason that the tales of the stone movers have traveled, but he's certainly pushed for them. The bard penned his ballads, and they spread. In inns and in halls they were sung. By no means superstars, the stone movers had become something of folk legends. These songs found their way to the crews of miners, travelers, and drives, where they became popular pieces among the nightly fires. In a caravan going through the Echo Mountains, they traveled to the dwarven city of Sungrock. This was a place where the acoustics of the stonework gathered many artists. From Sungrock, it traveled on foot to Giants Hall, a border town between Hermang and Kurun, the lands of dwarves and the lands of giants. From there, Goliath skulls picked up the songs. This included a woman named Steelwalker, who traded with a courier named Letter Rider. Recognizing the hero of the song, Letter Rider brought it back to Village Lithmoriana. There an assembly was called so that all may hear the exploits of the one known as Earthmover. Letter Rider told about how the smallest among them had become many great things. A builder of towns, a negotiator with dragons, a finder of lost artifacts, a slayer of zombie hordes, and even an emissary to gods. All were amazed and many believed these tales, but one man in particular had to seek out the truth for himself. Enter Benzai Lithmoriana. Enter Elknight.
All right. So where are we picking up?
Okay, so we're gonna start in the beginning because we're gonna see what Benzai's journey is like to track down Earthmover and what he can learn about him in the interim. So remember, he could be anywhere on any of the planes according to this story, but if anyone can find him, hopefully it's you. One thing is known for certain, though, and that's when Earthmover left, he was told by Chieftain Lithmoriana they should try to find the Transmutation College in a city called Yulin in a nation called Galay.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to start there.
Okay.
That does seem like the most...
Mm-hmm.
If that's where he's supposed to be, then I'm going to presume that's where he is.
Okay.
Although the tales would seem to contradict that, but I'm not sure I believe that. So,
all right then. So for a starting date, it is presently. Let me refer back to my notes. Yes, it is presently the 5th of Summermed when Benzai begins his journey.
It's the what?
The 5th of Summermed when he begins his journey.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the day that they get back to Cape Salas, the main party.
Yes.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So let's start with a simple geographical question. So Earthmover and Menzai are from the nation of Kurun, a place that we know is to the east of Galay. But where in Kurun are they from?
Oh man, do you have a map of Kurun for me?
It doesn't need to be anything specific, but is it towards the north, west, center of the country? Like, how far did Earthmover have to travel?
I'm looking at the topographical map of Russia real quick. Give me this one. So I'm from Lithmoriana, we said, is not super high in the mountains, correct? It's
Correct.
More or less a border town for plains and mountain people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with that in mind, I'm basically from anywhere but the south. Or sorry, no, I'm at the foot of mountains, so I am probably relatively southeasterly.
Okay.
More south than easterly.
Mm-hmm. And
because that's where the really big mountains would be.
Mm-hmm. And probably relatively close to the dwarven country of Hermang.
What country is Dwarfland?
Here I will put.
I need a map.
Yeah, just a sec. Yes, that is reasonable.
I don't know how to answer a geographical question without a geograph. So no.
Okay.
Southeasterly would be the opposite direction.
Oh, right. I was thinking southwest. Yeah, you're right.
So it has traveled a long way. I'm guessing someone in Kurun near Hermang probably went, "Hey, that's a person here," and made sure that word got back to the village Lithmoriana in particular. That would be the most sensible route for me in my mind.
Okay.
How that information would get that far.
Yeah. So this also means that Earthmover traveled probably on foot for months to get to the starting ground just to be turned away.
Yes. But, yeah, that's true.
But Benzai's not traveling on foot, is he?
No.
What is he traveling on?
Anything but his decrepit feet. He is riding astride a beautiful... did we decide on the statue? Or was it real?
Yeah, I think we said it was real.
Okay. Riding astride a majestic domesticated elk.
Fascinating. Yes, so this is definitely a sight to behold. That whenever you go into towns and stuff, that there's just this elk just chilling with a goliath, and on top of that, he's on top of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So you're able to track the story back probably through Sungrock, and you're able to get that better idea of you're able to get a few of the details cleared up that were dusted off a bit in travel, but even still, it still sounds pretty legendary. I mean, according to these songs, Earthmover was able to just talk an acid-spewing dragon out of killing him, and then just sent that dragon away. Surely that's not a true story.
Yeah, the runt? No.
Yeah. Okay. And then finally, after several more weeks of travel, though, you are able to get your directions enough to make it to Galay. And crossing the border doesn't give you too much travel because you're going through you're most likely going through the Dwarven side, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And okay, so a quick what do your base stats look like?
Oh, great question. I have them. Oh, actually, no, those should be accurate on the current sheet because I haven't leveled them up, but I can tell you the base stats. Oh, that's right. I had the worst stat spread ever. I've got I'm gonna go in backwards order. I'm gonna start at charisma and work my way forward. I've got 10, 12, 10, 19, 5, 20.
Okay, so what's the 5?
Dex.
Okay. And how much is your strength?
20, so that's a +5.
Okay. What's your intelligence and wisdom looking like?
I'll read it back forward in the correct order. 20, 5, 19, 10, 12, 10.
So the Constitution is a 19?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. What's your charisma?
10.
Okay. And your intelligence?
10.
Okay. Wisdom?
12.
Okay. So we're going to do kind of like what we did for Ash last week, rather than try to stick with base stats. We're going to do this Powered by the Apocalypse style. So when I ask for it, you're going to roll 2d6, and then you're either going to add body, which will be +3, agility, which will be -3, mind, which will be +1, or charm, which will be +0.
Okay.
Yep.
Let me get the dice real quick.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm. So the first thing you're going to be trying to do is navigation. So that's going to be a mind roll to see how long it takes you to get to Yulin.
And we said that was plus what?
+1.
Plus 1. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do? Average round up?
What do you mean?
Like whence came these numbers?
Just sort of like from a general feel of the way you were describing the character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here, let me just write those down real quick. Or did you send them to me?
Yeah, put them in the chat.
Okay, cool, perfect. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be a 9.
Okay, 9. A mixed success. So it takes you longer than you would have hoped. You have to ask directions from humans more than you probably feel comfortable with.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But after several weeks, so it probably takes you at least a week just being in Galay before you're able to find this place called Yulin. I imagine that probably tracking across, the Dwarven and Goliath countries, while they probably would have taken longer, it was probably the easier part of the journey.
Yeah, because I was just heading generally easterly.
Yep.
Or sorry, westerly.
Yep. But eventually, though, you are able to find this magnificent city, which is got to be a sight to behold, because it's probably one of the most diverse places that he's ever been in. And
right.
Mm-hmm. And he definitely saw plenty of dwarvish architecture on his journey, though. This mash of different building styles and people's probably a little bit unsettling, but you are probably able to notice the most out of place thing seems to be this castle that, while it appears to be built relatively well, it looks like it was built very garishly out of different materials, but that those materials still fuse together easily.
That's an affront to my eyes. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, can I read common? I presume so. I presume so.
Yes.
Cool.
Be a lot funnier if you couldn't.
It's just like, I'm sorry, can anyone tell me where the Transmutation College is? And I'm standing right in front of it.
Yeah.
So I presume then that I can read that this does say that it's the Transmutation College.
Yes, as you approach it, you see a sign, and the sign seems to be changing color about every 60 seconds.
Mm.
And there are some students out in front of the field, and they seem to be just holding their hands over rocks, trying to make them change into different forms. And you see them notice you, obviously, and you hear them say to themselves, "It's Earthmover! Earthmover has returned!"
Oh, Lord.
And one of them,
yeah, I'm still astride the elk.
Yeah.
Which I should name, but I'm not going to do that right now.
And one of them says to you, "Hail to you, mighty Earthmover!"
That is not my name.
Lord of Transmutation. Stone Pusher? Is that it? Did we hear the song wrong?
No, that's just a different guy.
Oh, you're not Stone Pusher?
No, what you are doing is a racism.
But we were told that the great Goliath would return to our college when he completed his journey.
What is he, a messiah?
No, but I don't know. The dean of admissions said that he would come back to be a great professor and teacher.
Bah, no. Take me to this dean.
Okay. And one of them just kind of leaves what he's doing. I don't think that you're going to be allowed to bring your horse inside, though.
It's not a horse, so good luck there.
And then he looks at him. Oh, it's a caribou.
That's much closer.
Moose?
Have you? No.
Deer.
You're getting so much further away.
Reindeer.
No. You're running out of servants.
Oh, servant, this is your slave?
No, servid with a D. Good lord.
Oh, cantaloupe.
Take me inside.
Okay. And he guides you in through the hall. Well, do you actually bring the elk in with you?
Yeah.
Okay. How tall are you riding on top of the elk?
That's an excellent question. Hang on. How tall are elk at the Withers? So elk are already I'm assuming it's a large elk considering it is bred to carry Goliaths into battle. So I'm guessing these are going to be close to 6 feet at the Withers.
Mm-hmm.
So we said that the Elknight was on the order of what, 7-ish feet tall?
It has to be at least that because Earthmover was notably short and he's 6.5 feet, so.
Was he 6.5? I thought he was 6.
No, we said it was 6.5.
Okay, then he's probably a little taller than 7 feet. So, yeah. So, let's call it 7.5. So, let's say roughly 4 feet above the. Yeah, so about 10 feet tall on the back of the elk.
Okay, with that, you're basically scraping the ceiling, but you can fit.
Cool.
Like if you hunch over slightly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like rough. I'm hunched over a little bit, and I have an arm above my head to make sure I'm not smacking myself on anything.
Yeah. Yep. And actually, someone wearing a fine robe who you can assume is a professor walks up to you and says, "Oh, did someone mess up a body transmutation? Don't worry, we're gonna get you to your proper size again. The medic is this way."
Do you not see that I'm literally sitting on another animal?
Yes, I assume that you also made this caribou too large as well.
No, these are what? No, I'm just this big. It's just this big. It's also not a caribou. They let you teach?
Hey, I don't teach animal husbandry.
No, but like you should know why do you think I'm too big?
It's not the first time that that's happened this year. But anyway, welcome to our school. Please don't step on anyone.
Well, sure.
Okay. But yes, after probably several more interactions like this, you're eventually brought to the dean of admissions, who's
cool. So I'm just quietly fuming for the latter half of this jaunt into the building.
Yep. At this point, like half a dozen people are following you. Is this an event?
No. I'm just here.
Okay, Dean, there's someone here for you. Apparently he's in Earthmover.
No.
I thought that was the name of your group.
Okay, go away. Go away. I'm going to get down from the elk and knock on the door.
Yes, and opening up is the dean of admissions, and he just looks up at you, just like, another one?
Hi.
Hello. Well met.
Is there an Earthmover here?
There was. Depending on your perspective on time, you just missed him.
Okay. How about a normal perspective on time based on a calendar?
Let's see now. It's approximately the Well, it's about the 5th of summer, Holt, so he was here, a couple months ago.
Great. So, a couple months ago. Is he a student here?
Oh, no. We offered, but he wasn't interested.
Why? That's literally the reason he came to this country.
Yeah. I mean, he ended up. Yeah, I mean, there was. Oh, no, wait. And then he looks over the paperwork again and says, oh, no, wait. That's my bad. We denied him admission.
Oh, okay. So he's a failure. Got it.
More so, he found success outside of school. If you meet him, we'd be happy to offer him a professor job here. And we have very high criteria for our professors.
Would you mind elaborating?
Well, they need to be very knowledgeable and well-versed in their field.
He made one wall and left. Okay.
He didn't just make one wall.
I mean, he did.
That was a weird way to emphasize that sentence. That makes it sound like he created a second wall, and that's his claim to fame.
Yeah, that is a strange thing to have said. Okay. Where did he go?
Well, last I saw him, he was going on a quest with a small child and a man who talked a lot about himself, and they were going on a transport quest.
Oh boy. Okay. Do you know where to?
Yes, a city called A Pullet in the Everdeep Canyon. You've been there, right?
Why would I have been there?
I don't know. Some people have visited the canyon before. It's very deep.
I come from somewhere that is literally more than a month away by carriage. Why would I have been here on a tourism visit?
Well, I don't know where you live.
Fair enough, I suppose.
You're making a lot of weird assumptions about me.
Your professors assumed I was the wrong size.
Are you?
No.
You want to be bigger?
What?
You want to be bigger? We could do that too.
I'm just look at my elk. I don't think that's an economical option.
Oh, don't worry. We can make the elk bigger too. Make it very Elkonomical for you.
I am not opposed to this.
Okay. Yeah. If you just want to volunteer for some practicing we need with some of our higher level students.
Okay, some of them made themselves too big on accident, so never mind. I'm going to rescind my willingness.
Well, okay then. Is there anything else we can do for you? Do you want to apply for school here?
I do not.
Okay. Well, if you happen to meet Earthmover, welcome know that he's welcome back here.
Great. I guess I'll walk back out.
Okay.
So now I'm headed to the place where we had to go save the people.
Do you have
the person?
Yeah, a little that narrows down. Yeah.
The singular person. Was he the mayor or sheriff, or was his husband the mayor or sheriff?
Yes, he was the husband of the captain of the guard.
That's some position of political / like enforcement power.
Yep.
Okay. Off I trot.
Okay. Farewell, Earthmover. One of the students says to you as you leave.
That's a different whatever. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not taking this abuse. What level am I? Like right now?
That's a good question. let's see now. Well, what has your character been up to so far? He probably thinks back on his history as he travels to the Everdeep Canyon.
Where did I get my war wound?
Well, let's see now. That was... Okay, so who would you have been fighting in these Great Goliath Wars?
Was it trolls or something? I don't
Yes,
remember.
I think we did say trolls. So yes, you were probably fighting against a contingent of trolls that were moving into Goliath territory against some ancient agreements.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We fought them back.
Yes, you had to fight back an army of trolls, and they just kept coming at you. Just kept regenerating, but you kept slicing through them.
Yeah, and I'm kind of on the opposite end of the power spectrum from fire, so I really, that was an uphill battle.
Yep. And so perhaps at one point you guys just kept realizing that it was at a standstill, like the Goliath had an upper hand when it came to strength and weaponry, but the trolls, they just could not be killed using the weapons that you had. So eventually it was decided that you would do single combat against one of the troll leaders.
Okay.
And you did win that battle, and you were able to successfully kill him using just sheer brutality.
Yeah, it's hard to regenerate when you're in shreds, so...
Yep. But he did get some really bad hits into you.
Okay.
So in terms of things, you've got to be at least level 6, maybe closer to level 8.
Okay. Okay, so that puts me at least with 5 levels of ward.
Okay. Does that affect your travel speed, or?
Not my travel. I just to know what things I actually had access to.
Okay.
Actually, no, it wouldn't affect my travel speed because my travel speed's determined by my elk.
Yeah. Okay. So, but after a while, you are able to make it to the Everdeep Canyon and head into there to a pullet, which is very deep into the canyon, so it takes you quite a while traveling. But if you start asking around, some people say, "Oh yeah, we did see a Goliath here before, a few months ago."
Okay. Is he still here?
No, I think he left pretty quickly. But you know who might have seen him? The chief of police, Captain Carver.
Okay. I'll go speak to the captain then.
Okay. Hey, Captain, you might want to come take a look at this. I'm very busy at the moment. No, this guy insists on seeing you. I'm not sure how he did it, but he was able to ride an elk down here, and he refuses to get off the elk. He's trying to barge into the lobby right now, even though he clearly doesn't fit.
This is just wrong. You don't have any ADA compliance whatsoever.
And a few minutes later, a dwarven man wearing some sort of military uniform pops out. Yes.
Hi. I've heard that there was an Earthmover through here at some point.
Yes, there was. You a friend of his?
Yes, I'm looking for him.
Okay, yes. Well, you know that Earthmover, he is quite the guy. The small child he was traveling with was certainly a troublemaker, but he seems to be a good father to her.
Okay.
Yeah, did you not know your friend was a father? Although it's kind of weird. His child looked like an elf. I'm sorry if this is an offensive question, but do Goliath children look like elves when they're very young?
Absolutely not.
Well.
Okay. That I've been flashbanged by words. Where did he go?
Let's see now. He got transport on a caravan through miners, travelers, and drives. You'd have to ask them where he went specifically. I'm not sure where he went off the top of my head. He just seemed to kind of be in a hurry to get out of here.
Okay. Where are the miners and travelers?
Yes, they have a local setup here. I'm pretty sure that Earthmover ended up making some kind of deal with them, like he endorses them now.
I I don't know what that would mean, but okay.
Yeah, apparently, like he now recommends them as as one of the best groups to travel with. At least that's what I've heard.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I don't know why that would matter coming from him, but okay.
Well, he travels a lot. He's come all the way over here from a far-off plan called Kurun.
Yes, we're from the same village.
Ah, okay. Well, then I'm sure you know all about Kurun and what a terrible country it is. He does not say that last part.
He was about to get smote.
You must know. I am a teacher of geography. Well, then you must know all about Lumpaland and what a terrible country it is. But yes, you're able to go over and confer with the travel company if you want.
Yeah, I'm good. Off I trot.
Yes, friend of Earthmover. Well, our organization is a friend of Earthmover too. He gave us our carriage. He gave us his carriage. I mean, not us specifically, but one of our chapters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did that happen, and how recent was that?
Oh, let's see now. He sold, according to a message we got in the post. That was a while ago that he sold the caravan. We only saw him the one time though. He rented our services to go to a place called Genpo. He seemed like a magical type, so perhaps he wanted to go to the college there.
Okay.
Yep, but quite the guy. He saved the husband of the captain of the guard here. Our city is now a fair bit safer because Earthmover traveled through here.
Saved from what?
From the goblins that were kidnapping important people.
Okay, goblins. I get that. Yeah, whatever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so where did you say he sold the carriage?
Our records. We got a message from the Feral Central branch that's where they purchased it from, but who knows if that's still there.
Well, I don't care where the carriage is. That's just he was there, though.
Yes, at some point we know that he passed through Feral. I mean, I'm sure you've heard the story of Earthmover and Feral. I don't need to repeat that to you.
Have I?
I don't think
Which Earthmover stories have I been privy to at this point in time?
I mean, you've heard the broad strokes of a lot of his, but I don't know you specific. You knew that he fought off hordes of undead, but I don't think it was specifically translated well enough that he saved a town from an invasion from the underground.
Okay. I maybe I don't know. Yeah, where is this?
Let's see now. That's far to the northeast of here.
Back the way I came. Okay.
No, wait, sorry, northwest. I was looking at my map upside down. It's a good thing I'm not a mapper.
How did you look at it upside down and still get that it was to the north?
Well, because I know which direction Alnig is from here.
Okay. Great. Okay. I'm okay. Bye. I guess.
Genpo's to the straight north if you want to head there first.
What? No, I'm trying to track him down. I'm trying to find him. I don't need to go to every place he's been. I'm trying to catch up to his trail.
But maybe something really interesting will happen if you go to every place he's been. Maybe you'll hear all the great stories and all the lives he's affected.
Trying to head him off. I'm going to go to Feral.
Okay. So if you're trying to cut a straight path to Feral,
am I running through the mountains to do that? Hang on.
Not through the mountains, but you would need to go through
the woods.
Yeah, through the 50-mile woods.
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
What is the route that most closely circumvents the woods, but like is the closest to being a direct path?
You could go around the perimeter of the woods. That would take you through Woodhill.
Hang on. I know you recently sent me the trail.
Actually, yeah, if you were to travel through, if you actually retracing the route, to Genpo would take
would be about as good, actually. All right, I guess I unintentionally go to Genpo.
Okay.
I look at the map. I go, I want to go in a straight line. I don't pay attention to where Genpo is at all. I go, I want to go in a straight line. That's the nearest city. Mm-hmm. So I'll probably go. I would stop through Woodhill.
Okay.
Because that's a town on the way, just to kind of see what all is happening.
Okay. Do you ask about Earthmover there?
I may as well, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Earthmover. You mean the great man that saved the city of Farrell with his friend Fish?
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
What?
He graced our city once.
In what way? With what?
He walked through here.
And that was a grace to you?
I mean, relatively. I mean, not a lot of exciting stuff happens. I mean, the most exciting thing that really happened here was like 100 years ago when a giant spider broke through in the mines. The great HTML himself actually had to slay that spider.
That is abject horror.
Yeah, I know. But I wasn't alive for it, so it's an interesting story.
I see.
Yep. Yeah, that was during the time of HTML. I'm sure you know his story.
Actually, there's a decent chance I would. Do I?
Roll plus mine.
Okay. That's a +1.
Yes.
6. Nope.
Yeah, with a 6 total, and here's the thing. I'm gonna say that with his association with dragons, he actually does know about the Hoeld the Manese line, but this guy just saying HTML confidently makes no sense to him.
Got it. Okay, so I know the lore, but don't make the connection.
Yeah, just like, what are you talking? Are you having a stroke?
Or are you just saying letters to me?
Are you spelling them to me? Do you think I'm...
Listen,
that doesn't form a word. Those 4 letters do not form a word.
Well, that sounds awful. It sounds like a disease.
Oh, you think that the Dragonborn are scorn upon our world?
No, but they are, like, just objectively not as powerful as dragons.
Well, yeah, I suppose not. But, I'm pretty sure that there was a Dragonborn traveling with Earthmover.
Huh.
Yeah, yes, I know that he did some dealings with another man in town, sold some adamantite to him.
Where? Oh, okay.
Oh, adamantite is a very powerful type.
I know what adamantite is.
Well, you didn't know what HTML was, so I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Hey, cool. But while you're here, you should check out Howl's Magic Shop.
I have no need for magic trinkets.
Okay.
Where did Earthmover go? If he was here, when was that?
That was...
I would have also tried to grab the date from the people. Like the people at the miners' drive-thrus and drives.
Okay. Well, let's see. Now, Earthmover passed through our town about a week before the summer solstice thereabout, and he headed into the woods. Maybe it was less than a week. It was the week of. I remember that.
Would Elknight know that the woods are crazy dangerous?
No, I don't think he knows enough about the lore of this particular woods to know that this is a,
Well, I don't think he knows enough about the country in general to know the lore of any particular thing here.
Yeah. And here's the thing. The woods themselves aren't that dangerous. It's the center 10-mile portion that's really weird. I mean, don't get me wrong, the whole thing, if you venture off the actual trail, is not a good idea. There's all sorts of wild magic there, but...
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so, if he knows that, he would have also known when the thing in Farrell happened. Which of those was later?
The Battle for Farrell was later, and... Or are you talking about the sale of the horses? Because that was... Okay,
No, yeah,
yes.
the battle for Farrell, the thing that was like the legend lore that was just recently imparted to me in a bullet.
Yeah, the undead battle for Farrell was on the 13th of Summer Dawn, so about 2 weeks after the equinox.
Okay, so yeah, I want to go there.
Okay.
But solstice.
Oh, yeah, summer solstice? No, the summer equinox, you know.
Yeah, that thing that definitely happens.
Hey, you don't know how this game works.
I know how summer works.
I know what the definition of solstice is.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know what the definition of an equinox is.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that was more recent, then I'm going to continue on my current path and save myself from the woods.
Yeah.
Inadvertently. So yeah, then I guess I accidentally go to Genpo.
Okay. And here's the thing: with the trail you take to Genpo, you can actually see in not far off from the main road, there's like this weird farmhouse that for some reason the college decided that they were going to put up a sign there and say that it's part of the college now, and it's where some classrooms are being set up.
I'm gonna walk in.
Yep. You just approach it. Well, Matt, are you here to learn about divination?
I'm
A man wearing wizard clothes says.
Well, I was more curious as to why you're setting up classrooms in a barn.
Well, you see, this is the farmhouse that the great stone mover party cleared out when they were fighting the wizard Eobard.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. I suppose it's not that common of a story to know yet, but a few months back, a great goliath by the name of Earthmover, he came through here with some elven child and some sort of human man that seemed to like to tell great stories. There was a string of burglaries going on with a bunch of goblins. Apparently, Earthmover also was able to teach the goblins the error of their ways and built them a town. So that's good of him. He's clearly a very merciful man.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, they tracked down the string of burglaries to this very townhouse and cleared it out. And so there was some magical secrets left here. And so our college decided to do some expeditions, see what was available, and we realized that this is a good out-of-the-way place to practice some more dangerous magic.
Wait, so you're intentionally doing dangerous magic?
Well, I mean, someone has to.
I feel like you could just not do it.
Well, how else are people supposed to learn the higher-level spells?
Is doing high-level magic intrinsically dangerous?
Sometimes, well, the ones that are dangerous are very dangerous. They're high-level.
Huh. Sorry, I don't really touch magic.
But what if the magic were to touch you?
All right, no, I do not consent. I'm leaving.
Okay, are we allowed to keep an eye on you magically?
Absolutely not.
It's divination magic. We can see anything if you let us.
I will not. Do not do that.
Okay, you sure you don't want to see what's going on in other countries?
I really don't. I don't want that kind of information. That's greedy levels of power. No.
Well, all right then.
That was creepy. I didn't ask them where he went. I don't care. I know where I'm going. I know that he came here less recently than when he went to Farrell. I'm just going to go to Farrell.
Also, I also like that Benzai did not ask for a scrying on where Earthmover is. He's like, nope, I'm not touching this at all.
This is all just creepy. This entire field of magic seems just immoral. Yeah. I don't want anything to do with this.
Okay.
We can see everything you're doing. I don't want you to. That sounds awful. I'm leaving immediately. I don't even want to pause to consider the ramifications of that. I don't care if it could be helpful to me. I'm leaving.
I like to imagine that you just skirt around the city entirely, like you don't even go in. You're just like,
It's just like, I feel like hopefully there's some proximity-based thing, and I can just stay away.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Off to Farrell.
Okay. So after a few more days' travel, you're able to make it to the walled city of Farrell, and the guards do stop you at the gate. What's your business in the city?
Looking for Earthmover.
Oh, the great hero. He's not in the city at the moment, though, but You can go on in if you're here to learn more about him.
I'm just trying to find. Okay, yes, that's what I'm here for.
Let's see. But do you have anything that you need to declare? Very powerful poisons, particularly dangerous weapons, are not allowed within the city. Explosives labeled tier 3 or higher are not allowed in.
Do I have anything like that? Do I even have magic items?
I don't think so.
I think I have a wand of something. No, I don't. It was going to be a wand of Find Steed.
Yep. Also, you should know that necromancy has been greatly cracked down upon in the past month.
Okay, well, I don't touch magic.
Okay, good. Just felt like, yes.
Especially after I met divination people, and that just seems like an entire basket of nope.
Yep.
So,
agreed.
Yeah, I don't do magic. That just seems like bad.
So you're saying that this caribou of yours is not magical?
It's not a caribou. Why does everyone think it's a caribou? That's like not a normal animal to know about. There are like so many other cervids people would normally guess before caribou specifically.
Yeah. I just want you to imagine that now he's holding up the line, just giving this man a lecture on the various species of deer and the like.
You're just not a normal person. Why? Like, I can understand you saying like moose or why? Everyone says caribou. It's an elk. It's clearly not a caribou.
Well, we don't have a lot of elk in this country.
You don't have caribou either.
No, but everyone's heard of caribou.
Okay.
Also, Andreas, I want you to know that I'm now going to come up with a lore reason of why people in Galway would know so much about caribou.
Caribou just have so much more antler.
Yep. Sir, I think your caribou is sick. Some of his antlers must have fallen off.
Well, okay, no.
Ugh.
Also, I need to make a biology lore question here.
Yeah.
It is summer. I don't think any of them would have antlers now that I think about it.
Okay, that's fair.
So, like, actually, people mistaking an elk for a caribou is a lot more reasonable given the fact that it's summer. He's still going to be pissy about it, though.
That's fair. I mean, I would not expect your character to do any less.
Yeah. That's true. It's a character that is played by me. I think its primary job is to be pissy.
I thought. Okay, so you've gone up a level from salty.
Maybe.
Okay. Also, just resent you the general map of Farrell. So. Where's he headed? Actually, this is.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is like a huge place. Was I told what he did here? I was told he saved the town. I'm going to go to the military district.
Okay. So, let me get back to that. Okay. Yeah, so you're able to travel. And here's the thing, though. This is a massive city, like probably the single largest that he's ever been in. Like, it's 20 miles by 20 miles.
Yeah.
So it literally takes him an entire day to travel from one end of the city to another.
Yeah.
Who built this town? Whose idea was this?
This is altogether too much place.
This is an entire country's worth of city. Is this what they mean by city-state?
This place has too much place in it. Yes. I don't like this.
Yeah. You are eventually able to make it to the military district where, there are some soldiers milling around. There's, one guy's coming out of surplus grains who just looks at you, startled.
Hi.
Fancy horse, sir.
Wow, not even a little close. No.
Kara?
Why? Why does everyone think? What strange infatuation with caribou do you people in this country have? No, it's an elk.
Well, caribous are one of the great animals of this nation. Caribous are part of what built this country,
I don't believe you, but I also don't care enough to question you.
Okay. So are you here to seek lodging for the night, or?
I was here to ask. Apparently, Earthmover has been here.
Hmm. Yes, and his face gets rather serious when you mention the name of Earthmover. Yes.
Is he? Your face is very, very serious. Is he dead?
No, he's not dead, but the dead. And his eyes go wide for a moment, just like, sorry about that. Let's just say Earthmover saved my life that night.
Okay. I'm gonna take that entirely at face value. Do you know where he is, or like where he went from here if he's not here?
Let's see now. Only person that might know for certain is the mage known as Maria Turen, the head of the Office of Arcane Geology.
That sounds like a dumb thing to study. Where is she?
Let's see now. She would be at the towards the center of the town, the town hall. But are you a friend of Earthmover's?
Yes, I'm looking for him.
Oh, well, he is quite the heroic man. He fought off legions of zombies.
So, yeah, I keep hearing how heroic he is. I'm from his village, and I'm not inclined to believe it. But everyone keeps saying so.
Yep. Well, they're building they are erecting something in his honor, apparently, and they're also building a memorial to the soldiers that died that day.
Huh.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm from very far away. Did something happen here? I was told vaguely that something happened here.
Oh. Yes. Yes, it did. Well, let's see now. Where to begin? So, do you know what a zombie is?
That's actually a good question. Probably.
Okay.
Yes.
You ever met one in real life?
Probably not, right?
I hadn't either before that day, but we were told that Earthmover had advanced warning that an evil vampire lurked beneath in the catacombs, and that our help was needed. So we all rushed over down to the scholarly district, because hordes of undead would be pouring out to the catacombs. And I don't know, something that I never really thought about before, although I guess it makes sense, is that, zombies, they still have the faces that they had when they died. They might be a bit decayed, but they're still there. Imagine having to slash through hordes of just ordinary-looking people, unarmed, but you know that if you let your guard down, they will kill you.
Well, not ordinary-looking, surely, right? They're rotting.
Yes, but still, it's one thing to go to battle against, a camp of bandits or enemy soldiers, but people who lived in the same city as you and were just buried in whatever clothes their family had for them.
I'm sorry. Are you saying that it felt stranger for you to kill people that were already dead than it was for you to kill people that were just actual people?
Well,
like a bandit?
I've never actually killed a living person before. I've been a city guard my whole career. It's never come to where I've actually had to kill a criminal, so.
Okay, that seems like a strange comparison for you to draw. I don't mean any offense, but I just that seems like it was spoken out of turn if you've not actually killed a normal person.
I suppose not, but I don't know. I guess there's the idea that, the enemy soldier, they more or less chose that path, and that you more or less chose yours, and you're fighting as equal, honorable soldiers, but fighting a zombie, there's just something so disgusting about it, because, it's not that person's fault, but someone defiled their body. So I guess the best way that I thought to think of it was that I wasn't fighting that person in that moment. Rather, I was fighting the vampire that raised them.
Seems like a good compartmentalization for it.
You ever killed someone?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm a soldier, yes.
Mm-hmm. And here Earthmovers had to kill a lot of people.
Him being able to kill people is what gets me.
Wow. You haven't heard he's able to summon massive columns of stone. I've heard that he was able to animate massive soldiers out of rocks and send them at his foes.
That would be kind of terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, the extent of my knowledge of his power regarding anything of that nature is he stopped an avalanche by making a wall and then said he was too good for us and left. So
too good for you?
I would be inclined to think not. But I keep hearing tales about him.
Yep.
I initially came out just to confirm, but now I'm getting suspicious.
Well, I'm sure that if you meet him, he'll be able to show you his power.
Yeah.
Very well. I hope you travel well, Caribou Rider.
Elknight.
Elknight. I shall remember the name.
Thanks.
Elknight, friend of Earthmover.
Something like that.
All right. So, do you travel to the town hall?
Yeah. I mean, what time of day is it by now? It's like nighttime, right?
Yeah. I like to imagine that you actually had to stop to make camp, and you did that at the town hall last night. You were like, okay.
Oh, it's just like camped outside. Yeah, no, I agree.
Halfway there.
Yeah, so in the morning I'm probably roused by someone trying to go to work and just sees a large man and a larger animal. Actually, no. A large man and a comparably large animal just sleeping in front of the town hall.
Sir?
What? Hi.
Are you homeless?
That's an interesting question. I'm going to go with no.
Okay. You know, we don't typically like having people sleep on the steps right outside of town hall, but I'm not going to cite you.
Cool.
For one thing, I don't have the authority.
Great. I'm looking for a Maria Turin.
Ah, yes, the great mage. You know, she is the leading expert on arcane geology in this city.
I see. Still not entirely convinced I know what that actually means, but
it's a study of magical rocks.
Yeah, that just does not sound fun. Okay. Where can I was told that she works here.
Yes. Yeah, she works in the first floor. If you head inside, you will want the Bureau of Arcane Discovery, and then she has an office there.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah. This is probably, you seem pretty well traveled, but how many times have you seen buildings this organized? You know, I have a theory that one day thousands of people will work in buildings just like this, and they'll be this organized with different departments and offices.
That sounds like hell.
Oh, don't worry, it won't be so bad because we'll be able to use magic to, let there be light in there, and it'll be more temperature controlled.
No, I just meant like putting yourself in a box on a day-to-day slog sounds awful.
Yeah, but don't worry, with the increase in technology, surely there will also be a comparable increase in compensation, and people will be able to buy wondrous things with their labor.
Yeah, I don't want to work in a box and slave away for some idealistic nonsense.
Now, of course, in order to make sure that everyone's actually doing their job, there will probably need to be some amount of divination magic, right?
Oh
This man
God!
says-
Don't talk to me about those creeps. I'm leaving this conversation.
This man is walking with you into the town hall, just like going on this spiel about like inventing modern office labor.
Oh my God!
Yep.
Don't you have a work to do?
Oh yeah.
What cabinet do you live in?
Oh, don't worry, we don't live in our offices, although that is an option to sleep there.
That sounds worse.
Yeah, I work in the Bureau of Theological Study.
Which is on what floor?
Oh, the first floor.
Great.
Yeah, this is only a 2-story building, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But maybe we could add a 3rd floor. Now you're talking. Maybe Earthmover will make us one when he returns. I heard that he can manifest buildings by sheer force of will.
Okay. That seems like a bit of a step up from a single wall.
Yeah, but if you build enough walls, then you have a home. Isn't that the saying? 4 walls build a home?
I think you need a roof.
That's a fair point. So 5 walls build a home.
It's not a wall.
It's a wall against the sky.
I'm not humoring this conversation anymore.
Yes, I'm what's known as a philosopher, so it's my job to muse about things like this.
I thought you were a theologian.
Yeah, theology is a branch of philosophy.
I don't... No, it isn't.
It's my job to ask questions about divine will and how we can better use the resources of the world and things like that.
Just ask the gods.
I mean, sometimes they don't always answer.
Ask louder.
And you see him just begin to use that. Okay, we use a machine to make our voices very loud to deliver our prayers. You are a genius. I'm going to muse on that for a while.
Cool.
They just walks off in another direction.
Thank God. Okay. I'm looking for a Maria Turin.
Yeah, you are able to follow sometimes to the Bureau of Arcane Discovery if you want to ask around for her.
Yeah. Where is I hear there's a Maria Turin.
Oh, yeah. You're here to ask about the arcane geology? Yeah,
No.
She's in the back office.
Great. So I tromp that way.
Oh. I take it, and you see her working, and she looks at you and says, I assume you're looking for Earthmover?
Yes. Finally, someone on the same page.
Yes. I also assume that you're not riding your elk in here.
Well, I mean, if I could, I would.
No, maybe you're. I think it's maybe you had to get off, but now you're leading your elk through the office.
No, that's the elk came with me. If I couldn't ride it, it's still with me.
Okay. That's a fine elk you've got there.
Oh my lord, you are my favorite person I have met in more than a month.
Oh. Well, not often I hear that, but thank you.
Yeah.
So, do you need help finding him, or are you also here to study arcane geology like he was?
No, I'm looking for him.
Now that's an interesting question. I know that he went to Alnig and at one point met my family there. Last time I heard though, he had gotten a boat from the Archduke Timothy, and I believe he said that he was going to Hybern.
Okay, and Hybern is a different country, yes?
Yes, it's an island neighboring Almeg, and if you're trying to figure out where Earthmover is, you might want to pass through Almeg. Could give you some information on what he's been up to.
Okay.
Maybe he returned to Almeg. It sounded like he had unfinished business there, or at least Thitch did.
Huh. All right. That sure is a thing that I will have to do now.
Yes. And she holds up 2 rocks to you and says, by the way, just to purely reflex, which of these do you prefer, the one on the left or the one on the right?
What am I looking at?
They are 2 smooth stones about the size of baseballs, and they look indistinguishable.
when you say, I'm just gonna point to the one that's on my right.
Interesting. Okay, good to know.
Cool. What did that do?
Well, that gave me some interesting information on which rock people prefer.
Okay.
Hey, I mean,
Enjoy.
I'm not always researching the effects of the planar gems. Sometimes it's more mundane stuff like these magical rocks.
I'm sorry, planar gem?
Oh, yeah, I assume that's why you were looking for Earthmover. He has a few of those now.
What? Would I know what that is?
No.
Okay, you have to back up. What is a planar gem?
Oh, they are powerful gemstones. Each one is a manifestation of a different plane of existence, and they are, in a way, the fragments of creation.
Huh. And you said he has more than one of these.
Yes, I mean, he personally might only have to be in possession of one, but his party has several at this point, I know.
I see. Okay. That's pretty substantial.
Yeah. He's quite the guy. I'm not completely sure what he's tracking them down for, but apparently something very important is going to happen, and if he fails in this mission, it's not going to be good.
I see.
I think it ties into what he did at Middletown, but I'm not completely sure. He didn't tell me all the specifics yet.
Middletown being...
Oh, that is the town he made.
Huh. Okay.
Well, I mean, he didn't do it all himself, but he helped some goblins establish a town on the ruins of an old town. And of course, the rest of his party was there. Gerald and Gordon Flay.
He's definitely cataloging this as, like, sympathizing with goblins.
Okay.
like he's definitely putting this in a negative light.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Although from some very secure correspondence I have, sounds like he's often looking to help out those who are being oppressed by society, like in the village of Chipham, the seat of Alneg. He was able to help out some rebels.
I see. Rebels. What were they rebelling?
Oh, against the crown. You haven't heard? There's a that country is pretty much on the boiling point, just about to tip over the edge into full-scale revolution in the next few years.
Okay, and you recommended that I stop in there. Why?
Yes, that way you can get a better picture of who Earthmover is, and perhaps if you're a lot like him, then you might want to help the people there.
Okay. I think if literally anyone else said this to me, I would just disagree immediately. But you have otherwise seemed to be very reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'll stop in.
Okay. By the way, I don't think, unless your elk is a very good swimmer, you might need to get a boat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is passage from this galley, is passage from here to Alnig, like, acquirable?
Oh, yeah, sure. Boats travel between these countries all the time.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you for the information. Do you have, like, a card?
A card? Oh, you mean like, okay, that's an interesting idea. Like someone has like their information, who they are, already written down on a piece of paper, and they give that out to people?
Yeah.
Yeah, now that's a concept. You know, I know a philosopher in another department who's always trying to think about new ways to, reinvent how we do things like jobs and organizing, everything like that. I'm going to let him know about this concept.
Does he think everybody should live in a building that, like, is where you do job?
Well, he doesn't think that you should live in your job. He has this other concept for buildings with a lot of living units in them. It's kind of like how imagine how sometimes like several households will live together in one home.
Yeah.
Yeah, so his concept was that you take that and you scale it up a little bit, but each household unit has like their own dedicated space with like a kitchen and bedroom and everything like that. That way you're not as crowded together.
I feel like you're losing your sense of community by doing that.
Well, no, because then you would form a sense of community with the other people that live in that large building with you. It would be like a village in a building.
But if the family units aren't intermingling, then
well, they could visit each other's houses like that, and they'd have community events.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like similar to what we do in Kuran, but it also, I don't know, something about it being in an artificial construct makes it feel very sterilized.
Perhaps, but maybe it would be nice to live in. And he also has this idea that what if instead of carriages, we were able to use magic to make larger vehicles, and everyone just got in the same vehicle that was going in that same general direction.
That just seems like a lot to be doing with magic all at once, all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, apparently the gnomes are doing all sorts of things with techno magic. That's something Earthmover's looking into at the moment. I heard
I feel like Elknight might immediately now be racist against gnomes.
Okay. Yeah, I heard some sort of a wild legend that apparently the gnomes have invented some sort of new carriage vehicle that but rather than going on normal ground, it needs like a special metal and wood ground, but it moves very, very quickly, but only in specific directions.
That seems like very restrictive.
Yeah, you're kind of like a minecart, but it's much more scaled up. So imagine like traveling long distances in a large minecart.
Okay, so it would be routes that would need to be traversed very often.
Yeah.
And at great speeds.
Yes.
So, like, getting to the front of a war.
Well, I suppose, but then you would need to know where that war is going to happen and make sure that there are, roads there.
That's true. Yeah, that might not be great.
And then her eyes go wide for a moment as she begins to consider something, and she jots something down. Oh, okay. Just gave me an idea that I'm going to need to run upstairs for in a minute. Okay.
Okay.
Let's just say you might have, hopefully war does not break out between Panip and Galay, but if it does, your brainstorm with me might have just saved a couple of lives.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you going to build the minecart things to the border with Panip?
I mean, I don't know if we'd be able to, but now we might have our spies check to see if they've already done that to their side of the border.
Yeah. That would be something to look out for.
Okay. Well, thank you. You are clearly very knowledgeable in the ways of war.
It is kind of my profession. And he points at his earring.
Ah. Interesting. Yes, Earthmover seems to now specialize in a series of small wars that he wages at his own discretion.
Huh.
But I'm sure you'll learn all about that when you meet back up with him.
I suppose I will.
Yep. So where does he want to go from here? He just learned that Earthmover is most likely currently in Paneep, so he could cut straight there. Or if he wants to learn more about where Earthmover's traveled to figure out more about who he is now, he could go to Alnig or to
I'm just gonna quickly this
Iceland?
is a very unrelated thing. Your scale, I need you to look at the continent of Rupo, and then I need you to look at the map where you have Galay.
Yep.
And I need you to look at your scale markers and repent.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Just clearly not, right? Like clearly not.
Close but no cigar.
Not close. Not they're the same. They're the same length on those two documents. That one is like 150 miles, not 50 miles. It's like 3 times bigger, at least.
Well, remember, though, the distance across... Wait. I think I did something very wrong here.
Yes.
No, not just that, but with the... Oh, I see what happened here.
Yeah? What happened?
Okay, so the actual scale markers for 50 miles, I, for some reason, had that stretched across... I had already decided what a 50-mile scale was, but then for some reason...
Yeah, because it's the size of the woods, so yes.
Yeah, not the entire length of the country.
Correct.
Yeah, that's closer to 200.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess that's true. I have the meeting pop over. I'd say it's closer to 150 than it is to 200, but it's certainly between those two numbers. So, just as something I figured I should mention, because I didn't even notice the one that was the length of the thing that's also said 50 miles. That one I did not spot. I just spotted because I was trying to get a sense for how big the world scale map was.
Yeah.
And went, that's not right. That's the size of the woods. And the woods is not the size of the country.
It's all woods.
Yeah. Anyway. I'll probably go to Elknight.
Okay. So, yes, you are able to pay for a ship ride there, but you are warned that Elknight is not a very welcome country to people that look that different. Yes, you and your caribou might not be treated there well, but it is...
What's with the caribou?
Is it a horse?
That is so much more incorrect.
Donkey?
Oh my lord, I'm not...
Lynx.
Huh?
Coyote.
I'm not speaking to you. I'm gonna push you into the fucking sea.
The man trying to sell you a ship ticket.
I'm gonna take you with me in the ship and throw you into the sea.
That's kidnapping, right?
Well, it's murder. More importantly, it is murder.
Oh
no! He took him into the middle of the ocean. He's a kidnapper. Never mind the fact that he stabbed him 37 times while he was there. Carl. Good lord.
But also, there's the that also makes Benzai a pirate if he does that. But yes,
For
he is
what?
for committing crimes like that in the middle of the open ocean.
That's not what piracy is. Piracy isn't just crime on water.
Oh, right. Specifically theft on water, right?
We didn't call Japan pirates for bombing Pearl Harbor.
Well, that's more of a military action, but anyway.
Well, it was a war crime.
Anyway. Yes, but do you pay for passage on this boat?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So, I think this is the first time we've ever actually had one, the legendary caribou, on our ship. But thank you for
It's not a caribou, it's an elk.
Oh, an elk. Yeah, that's not a holy animal, is it?
Are caribou holy animals?
Well, yeah. I mean, they are endowed with the spirit of Galay.
How? Explain.
Okay.
Explain yourself right now.
Oh, you haven't heard of our foundational tale, have you?
No. In what way are caribou so monumentally important to the foundation of Galay?
That's a great question. Well, you see, when the Azuran Empire collapsed, all sorts of various states sprung up across the continent, as you know.
Sure.
Yeah, so let's see now. In the Galan and Gallo tribes, those were, when they bonded together, formed Galay, of course. Now, as you of course know, one of the great creatures of the Gallo tribe was the caribou. And it was actually a high-ranking man, kind of the equivalent of a king, although they didn't call him the king, and he rode abreast a caribou on all of his travels. And he even gave the gift of caribou to those living in Galen. And so
he gave the gift of care. Explain, what does that mean?
so sometimes when you want to, as an act of diplomacy, you might give certain types of animals to another group that are important to you. Like, for instance, if you have a lot of elephants in your country, you might gift elephants as a diplomatic gift.
That seems like a really backhanded thing to do. Elephants take a lot of upkeep.
Yes, but if you treat them properly, then elephants can do a lot for you.
Right, but like it seems like something you would do intentionally to make it easy for the other people to unintentionally slight you. Because like something that is that hard to maintain as an animal would be like really easy to accidentally misfeed or underfeed, and then it's like, you didn't treat my gift correctly, and then it's a declaration of war. Are you sure this was a diplomatic move?
Hey,
and this wasn't like a backhanded fake gift?
Hey, the two tribes united, did they not?
Apparently.
Yes, and then they later unified with the Sauron Empire using similar diplomatic tactics. They also gifted caribou to the Saurons.
Did they merge, or did they take each other over because the caribou were mistreated and they took it as a declaration of war and just destroyed each other?
Oh, no. I mean, the historical record is very clear about this, that there was minimal militaristic action between the newly formed Galay and the Kingdom of Sauron.
Sure, and as we all know, history is never written in a biased fashion by those who have the power.
Yes, but think about it. Why would caribou be used as weapons of war? They're such majestic animals.
They're large, territorial, and
protected.
Sure, but they're a pretty big animal. Even if they weren't used directly as an instrument of war, they could be used as a political token to do exactly what I was describing with the elephants and be on a lesser scale. How many caribou did they give?
I mean, different accounts disagree. I mean, the more extravagant ones say 1,000 caribou, but that's widely discredited. Some say it was more on the magnitude of 12 caribou to the great king of Sauron.
So these dozen caribou were gifted to one guy?
Well, I mean, he was a king. He had the resources to take care of them.
I suppose.
Yes. And he used those caribou to help the people in his country. He gave one each to the lords of his land, and then when they received those great gifts, they could see how wonderful they were, and that led them to forming further diplomatic ties with Galay.
Okay. I'm going to take this on face value and not question what I'm smelling to be very suspicious. And I'm just going to get on my boat now.
Okay. No, I'm assuming that this conversation is happening as you're traveling.
On the boat.
Yes. You guys are having a long debate about the history of Galay and how much of it is just made up.
Just made up and hiding absolute bloody atrocities that were committed for completely fabricated reasons as a means to justify actions of war.
Well, think about it. Why would they make up the foundational story of our country?
To hide the illegitimacy of the rulers.
I mean,
what's the diplomatic? What's the ruling structure of a Galay?
Well, so the established towns, the ones with official recognition, they send representatives to the capital, and then those representatives they select our head leader, known as the Grand Chancellor.
Okay, and how are their terms served? In what way are they selected?
Well, the senators, they vote on who they think would be the best choice to be the Grand Chancellor, and then he serves for a number of years.
Chosen from what pool? The people that volunteer?
Yes, people who volunteer from various regions. And, the country is divided into 5 different regions for, political... what's the word I'm looking for? To make it easier to govern.
Okay, and so when do they fight?
Oh, we never go to war with that. That would be a civil war. We don't want to
No,
do
no, not like a war. Just like when do the potential leaders get to like demonstrate who is most fit?
Oh, well, I suppose that there are debates on the Senate floor, and they hear what ideas they have to lead the country, and based on experience and reputation. And there probably, if we're being honest, there might be some corruption in there, bribery a little bit, but
What? No, but like, how do you know who's the strongest?
well, I mean, are you talking about? Like physical strength, emotional strength, intelligence?
Your customs are strange.
I mean, an arm wrestling contest is no way to determine the head of state for such a powerful nation.
No, but honorable combat would be
Okay, but what if you get someone who's like really strong but doesn't understand the logistics of shipping lumber from one end of the country to another?
irrelevant.
I think that's kind of relevant for running a large modern nation.
Okay,
Or
Kurin
like,
does just fine.
yeah, but isn't Kuron more of a series of independent city states and tribes?
Yes, but the different whenever there's a relation that must be dealt with, the leaders from each individual group meet, um, and the leaders from each individual group are by and large chosen by strength. If you have the ability to gain your own strength and to cultivate that and put it to useful means and win in honorable combat, you are a fit and just ruler.
Well, I mean, I suppose that should be a part of it, but shouldn't, the ability to lead and being able to understand the needs of the people be part of it?
The needs of the people are as determined.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, strength isn't always what it seems. Take, for instance, the great Thitch Urso. He doesn't appear to be very physically strong, but he could mow through hordes of enemies.
I feel like that means he's physically strong. He would win a fight.
Yeah, but his ability to pick things up isn't very impressive. He's a very short guy.
Okay, but what I'm describing is combat. There is more to combat than raw strength, literally. You have to understand your opponent. You have to understand how to approach and solve problems. You have to understand your opponent to defeat them, right?
I suppose.
I certainly wouldn't want to be in a position where I'm in a country that's ramping up for war and not have a ruler that knows how to fight.
Well, I mean, our current Grand Chancellor does know a fair bit of war and everything like that. I understand that he was a soldier at one time.
Elknight wants to fight him. The Grand Chancellor, not the guy on the boat.
Oh yeah, I know. Just take over the country and just beat that guy up.
No, not even to take over the country, just because he's like, well, okay, I need to challenge the ideologies of these people.
Yeah.
It's literally going to be like, it just like shows up at his house. I'm calling you out.
Yeah. Yeah, he changes his mind. Like, okay, my quest is no longer to find Earthmover. It's to topple
I
this
need
government.
to go fight this dude. Turn this boat around.
I need to topple a government.
Man, my characters are good at that.
Yep. But after a few days of sailing and political discourse, you do eventually make it to Alning.
Sick. Okay, cool. I arrive in Alnig. I recognize now, as someone who played Earthmover, that we went the other direction, right?
You took a magic portal from
Galay to Hybrid.
no, from Feral to Thanatos to Almeg.
Oh, I thought we went to Hybrid and came back the other way.
No, you went to Almeg, then came back to Cape Salas, and then went to Hybrid.
Oh, that's so inefficient. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I questioned why you were doing it at the time. Oh,
Okay.
no, wait. It was to pick up your carriage. That was why.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay. Okay, so I'm in Alnig.
Yes.
And I know that the goal was eventually to go to Hybrid, right?
Yes. So
Cool.
you are able to land in the Cape Cobalt.
I think at this point, I have the general sense that Earthmover is well regarded and well known wherever he goes.
Yes.
So if I know he's been in this country, I'm just going to ask the first person I come across. Has Earthmover been here?
You just walk up to a random guy, no introduction, just like...
Literally, yes. I'm 100%. I literally, I get off of the boat. I'm sitting on my elk. I walk up to the first person I see and go, "Has Earthmover been here?"
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Please don't trample me.
I'm not moving anymore.
Okay.
Has Earthmover been here?
Earthmover. Oh, is he the one that Archduke Timothy likes to brag about?
I am vaguely familiar with the fact that he has dealt with nobility in this country, so maybe.
Okay, because that's kind of far away from here. You're right now in a town called Cape Cobalt. Don't know how much you were told, but the Great Duke that he met with, that's over in Zinkton.
Where is that?
Well, it's going to be to the northeast from here.
Okay, great. Thanks.
I mean, I've never actually been. It's about 200 miles away.
Wow.
But if you want, you can probably take another boat there. I know that there are landings there.
Would that be faster?
I mean, how fast can your moose go?
Moose? No one. Why does no one know what an elk is?
Oh, that's an elk. I've never seen one in real life, so.
Okay. How fast can I travel by elk? You get to make up travel speeds for both of them and decide which path I'm taking, essentially. I'm gonna be right back. I'll give you some time to decide, I suppose.
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
What did we decide?
Okay, and so even though the sailboats are able to take a more direct route, your elk is actually a lot faster.
Sick.
So all told, it would take about 60 hours by boat or 40 hours by elk.
Yeah, we're elking it.
Yep.
To elk with it.
Yep. Nice. So yes, and was probably a very strange display for the country folk. They just see this giant man just galloping along on a caribou. No, I'm kidding. The Alnic people have no reason to think that this is a caribou.
Yeah. Thank God.
Yeah, unlike the Galileans, they do not have a logical reason for that.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, moose, on the other hand.
Yep.
No, they definitely wouldn't have moose here because they're on an island.
Do meese not know how to swim?
No, meese are really good at swimming, but they wouldn't live on an island.
Okay.
Species tend to get smaller on islands. Spikey deer are just smaller whitetail deer.
Or giant. Island giantism. But yes, but as you're passing through some towns and villages, you notice that people there are distinctly less welcoming to you than Galay was. Like, they seem very suspicious of you.
That's just too damn bad.
Mm-hmm. You're not here to harass us, are you? One group asks you when you set up camp outside their town.
Well, I plan to be gone tomorrow.
No, you better be.
All right, are we having a problem? Is that what's occurring right now?
Hey, I mean, as long as you're not causing a problem, we won't cause one.
I'm going to stand up. Okay, so cool. And then we won't have a problem.
I guess not.
Great.
They seem to be trembling a bit. But we still expect you out of here by dawn.
I'll leave when I leave.
You wouldn't want army.
I'm not afraid of these people.
I know. No, I'm imagining you saying that to them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But after some traveling, you're eventually able to make it to the major city of Zinkton, where it's also that people are more welcoming and more like they're able to see you as sort of like they're kind of impressed by you. They see you as kind of an amusing novelty, especially since Earthmover's already passed through here.
Right.
Ah, hello. Nice to meet you. A man on horseback approaches. Quite a fine specimen you have. What breed of horse is that?
What? Why? What? In what way does this look like a horse?
Well, a steed with 4 legs. A decent mane.
Distinctly does not have a mane. It's also distinctly completely different head shape.
Well, I didn't want to be racist against your horse.
Okay, well, it's not a horse.
Donkey?
It's an elk.
Ah, an elk. Interesting. So is that like a magical horse?
I'm not engaging in this topic any further.
Okay.
Has Earthmover been here?
Ah, yes, Earthmover. Ah, yes, a personal friend of mine, I'll have you know.
Really?
Yep, he helped me with a little tax problem, and now I gave him a boat. Very generous of me it was.
What are taxes?
Ah, taxes. They're money we pay, that we all pay to make sure that society functions.
What? Why would you have to pay money for society to function? That should just happen.
Well, I suppose on an esoteric level you don't have to pay for it, but roads don't pave themselves, soldiers don't pay themselves,
Soldiers work to protect the land that they live in. It is their duty.
Exactly. I'm glad we agree, but they also deserve compensation, I think.
Roads are just a common passage of travel. They're made naturally by where people go. If you need to maintain a road, if it's broken when you're on it, fix it.
I wish more people had such commitment to their towns, but not everyone wants to repave a road every time they travel.
There's an entire country that functions this way.
I'm guessing the dwarves do that a lot. I hear that whenever there's a rock in their way, they just drill right through it.
That feels like a statement that comes from a place of ignorance.
Yeah. Also, do you know if they eat the rocks?
I would know that they do eat some of the rocks.
Yes. But do you want to tell this man this?
I'm not giving him that power. No.
Yes. Do you want to confirm his stereotypes?
Look, where did he go?
Ah, yes, my friend Earthmover. Well, he took the boat back to his home of Galay, and where he took it from and I know that he did that after scoping out a water temple for me, and he said that he would be back to tell me where that temple is.
I see.
But perhaps he got lost out on sea. I mean, I think he managed to return to Galway, but we're not sure yet. I heard some stories about that. Maybe he just forgot, but we know generally what direction he headed in, so I have sent some ships there to try to find the temple again.
I see.
Mm-hmm. Yes, quite a lovely temple or so, I'm told. Many great secrets in there. And it was part of the great Earthmover's journey, so I, as the Duke of this land, of course, helped him. Because that's the kind of man I am.
Was he a duke or an archduke?
He's the Archduke.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and so what? Maria said he went there, came back, and then went out again, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I have that direct confirmation. I don't need to go back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Backtracking.
Absolutely not.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but now you've unlocked fast travel, so. Yeah. And,
So.
Mm-hmm. Also, I don't suppose you're also looking for a job like your friend Earthmover?
No.
Okay.
Well, how could I get from here? How can I get from here to Hybern?
Oh, you want to visit the other island of our great nation? Well, if you have a boat, then it's just right across the channel, of course. We are looking at the mathematics of building a long bridge, but that would be quite the project.
How about like buying a ticket on a boat that's already going there?
Well, yes, of course, a lot of people just take boats back and forth, but imagine if there was like a giant bridge across the channel that people could ride their carriages across.
I suppose you could do that.
Yes. Yes, the king and the other two highest-ranking dukes and I were looking over the logistics of that.
Is the logistics of a physical structure really within the purview of a duke?
Well, I mean, we gave funding to the architects and engineers that are looking it over.
I see. So in what way are the logistics of it being overseen by you?
Well, I mean, I hired the people that hired the people to write up these plans.
So your position in this is money.
Well, I mean, someone has to oversee. I mean, there's a lot of money going around. Someone has to oversee it just to make sure that none's being wasted or stolen. I mean, it's an organizational effort. Someone has to do that.
Okay, so you directly manage where the money's going.
Well, partly, yes.
Partly.
I mean, I can't do it all myself. I have help, of course.
I see.
Yes. And, I hired people that know more about wealth management than I do, because I am humble enough to admit that I don't know everything.
So why do you have money?
Well, because someone needs to be at the because it needs to flow in a certain direction outward. So there's the king on top, and then there's the dukes underneath him. It's all very organized. A very organized system keeps the money flowing in all the right directions that way, and very little is wasted.
Well, so how did the king get money?
Well, he got it through taxes and also through successful war campaigns back in the day. We don't do as many of those nowadays, but
So the person who's in charge of everything gets money because he says everyone should give him money.
Oh, I mean, in a way, isn't that how all government works?
No.
Well, yes, I mean, someone at the top has power, and they keep things organized, and they keep the roads maintained and the law enforced.
Or you can live in a place where that is done because people recognize that someone has to do it.
Oh, yes, I mean, that's what happens here, too. People recognize that someone needs to enforce the laws, and someone needs to oversee everything, and that's what I do. We all have a job to play, and there's nothing dishonorable about being on any portion of that in that system. Even the humble fish catcher is a valued member of our society.
They're a far more valuable member of society than someone whose job it is to just go around taking money because someone says that needs to be collected to one place.
Oh, yes. You mean like those highway bandits?
But
Yes,
no, I meant like someone who might do the job of collecting taxes.
Well, someone needs to collect the taxes.
Or you could just not need taxes.
Well, I mean, that would be nice, but what kind of fantasy world are you living in?
Kurin.
Well, no wonder your people never industrialized.
We're doing fine.
Yes, fine. And how many steam engines does your village have?
None.
Interesting. And how much magical research is going on there?
A lot.
Well, how much political intrigue do you engage in?
Intrigue? You mean like betting on who's going to represent us next?
Well, that's someone has to do that, you know. Look, I do very important things that you probably wouldn't even understand. Like, just recently, I was able to engage in a diplomatic mission with Panip to make sure that things were going in the right direction there.
What was the outcome?
Oh, it's still pending, but it's all very technical. But let's just say, if everything goes right, we might learn the secrets of their arms of fire.
I think you just use magic.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, magic is part of it, but they were able to invent these small tubes that are basically cannons that anyone can hold. Yes. And let's just say I was involved in making sure that we get some of those. I was.
So where are they?
Oh, well, they're on the way. And, this was a very organized effort. Some orcs from Skenin, I was able to negotiate with them, and they were sent as my diplomats over to Panip. It's all quite an organized system, I do say.
Wait, so did you go to Panip for this?
Well, not I personally, but
So you weren't involved?
Well, I wrote up the plans, and I kept things organized.
Skenin isn't even this country. You hired diplomats from somewhere that isn't your own country to represent your country in a diplomatic proceeding.
Well, they had a very specific set of skills that I needed.
It seems to me that if you needed diplomatic skills and you were functioning well in a diplomatic system, you would already have diplomats in your country for your country.
Look, I do have plenty of diplomats, and some of them do visit Penny from time to time. Let's just say this was more of a clandestine diplomatic situation.
Oh, you were engaging in, like, espionage.
I mean, I wouldn't use that word. That's such a strong word.
I see.
Also, are you going to keep pushing this guy for more information on what he did? Because
I'm trying to ascertain what level of, like, incompetent he is.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll plus charm just to keep pushing him, just to see what he spills.
That's 7 plus 0.
Okay, yeah, with the 7 overall, he kind of keeps going on about this. Obviously, he's not going to reveal a bunch of massive state secrets, but he does accidentally let a few things slip. Like, hey, do you think that I'm incompetent? I mean, could an incompetent person come up with the plan I did to get those firearms?
Which was?
Let's just say that because of me, there's now a very, very convoluted system in play to make sure that we could perhaps not only get some arms of fire from the orcs that we hired, but also that we're able to close the gap on the flying machine research.
Flying machine?
Yes. Haven't you heard of the great flying machines of Panic? Well, they're refusing to share their technology, so I used my authority and the taxes that I collected to do something that would help all of the country by putting things into motion that would help close the gap in that research race.
It really just sounds like... So you hired diplomats from Skenin, correct?
Yes. Well, diplomat is my word. They might have used a different word.
I see. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Also, Andres, are you piecing together now what happened?
Mercenaries.
Yeah, no, but on another level.
He's strong-armed. Also, I think any deal that was made with Skeni, not Alnig.
Hey, I mean, yes, well, that also helped establish our relationship with them. We used to be on much worse terms than them. They used to periodically raid us and just take our resources, and we had to fight back. But now we have a much better system in play. Now we can work together, and it's more like a symbolic raid of Tanip, We're not actually hurting anyone, are we? I mean, there was that one guy, but one person compared to the hundreds that used to be killed in a raid. That's nothing.
Okay. Where's the nearest port that I can get to Hybern from?
Oh, well, I mean, there are some ships some ships in this area that, of course, lead to the other great island of our wonderful country.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Where?
And he kind of points you in the general direction of the docks. But, my friend, you may stay here as long as you wish, and we can have many more political discussions if you want.
I'm looking for Earthmover, so.
Ah, yes, my friend Earthmover. Well, send him my regards when you find him.
Sure thing, Archduke.
Oh, no, it's pronounced Archduke.
I know.
Archduke Timothy. Tell him Archduke Timothy sends his regards, and I hope he's enjoying that ship I gave him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so, with that, and also, it's probably starting to make a lot more sense about why this country is on the verge of revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and on the next boat ride over, you're probably able to start a similar conversation with another guy. Just be like, "Yeah, so that's not a moose?"
Oh my god.
There aren't a lot of moose on this island, but sometimes we have some. You know where I hear there's a lot of moose? Kurun. You ever been to Kurun?
Oh my god.
Oh, you worship a moose god?
I'm going to strike somebody.
Because, I once heard this fantastic story about this very powerful mage that worshipped some sort of deer god. Or maybe he made his enemies say deer god before he smited them. I just know he also loved deer. Yep. And apparently he forged some armor for himself out of some insects or something. At least that's what people say. I mean, they said that he had the body of a beetle or whatever, but I'm sure that was a metaphor. I mean, surely there aren't actually insect people, are there?
I couldn't tell you.
Yep. Well, they what was his name? I think it was Aggie the Horn, I believe was the name of that great wizard. Yep, and he worshipped a deer god.
Isn't he still alive?
Oh, he is, but this guy just clearly knows very little about the story.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, hundreds of miles away, Lord Agathorn Deerman is like, my name is being used in vain.
My name is being sullied. Someone's telling my story wrong.
Also, I just imagine that, even on the boat, he's riding the elk as much as possible, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. Okay. So, you head for anywhere particular on the Great Isle of Fate?
I'm trying to figure out where Earthmover has been.
Yes. Well, this was probably so this is probably a conversation that you had on the docks and piecing together and actually oh wait, that would explain why I couldn't find it. I was looking at the wrong map.
That might help.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and so probably by some conversations that you're pieced together with some people, you do. Yeah, I feel like you should roll for this. Go ahead and roll plus mind.
That's a 6.
Yeah, with a 6 total, you really have no idea, at least from here, where Earthmover would have traveled in Hybern, but you do already know a few things. For one, you know that he did travel to Paneep. For two, Archduke Timothy set some things in motion there. You do know that Earthmover spent some time in Hybern, but you don't know if you'd be able to track him there without another lead. But but you've also probably learned enough about like what Earthmover's been up to be able to one, be prepared to face him, and now you at least have a better idea of where he is.
Right.
Yep. So yeah, you probably are considering everything like that, but then you realize, okay, I don't want to go through all of that again where I just scour an entire country for an obscure lead because even doing that, you would probably lose where Earthmover is because he would just keep moving.
Right.
Yep.
So I know he's gone to Paneep at some point?
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
So is that where you head?
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, that's probably the best place to wrap up this session.
Okay.
So now we know that the great rival, Elknight, not Caribou Cavalier.
Good Lord.
Is on his way. So what do you think of this? It was sort of like a recap session of you revisiting the various highlights of the campaign. How do you feel about it?
We missed a few.
Any ones in particular that you were thinking about?
Minot Town and the Druid Conclave, but the Druid Conclave would have been a mess.
Yes, and I mean he had the option to go to Minot Town, but I guess he didn't want to go there yet.
He was just trying to cut as much time as possible. He was trying to catch up.
And clearly he doesn't like goblins, so
he's not a big fan of goblins.
Yep. But all right then. So this is finishing to do a recap session. We should have a proper session next week, but until then, I've been your host and Dungeon Master, Drew, being joined by
Elknight.
And
no.
Till next time, bye.